Hey everyone, Tate here with IMS, and in this week's how-to video, I'm going to show you some cool things in SharePoint. It's going to be part of a little mini-series here, doing a bigger deep dive inside of SharePoint. Today I just want to kind of start with the basics and show you guys how to create a SharePoint site. So this is something that anyone that has access inside of SharePoint will be able to start doing, and then they can start creating those internal sites for the business. To start, I recommend just going to office.com. It's kind of the easiest way to get to the right place. And then if you go to the top left and go to the little waffle icon, you can go ahead and click on that. And you're going to find the SharePoint icon there. So we're going to go ahead and click on there. And it's going to take us to the SharePoint kind of homepage. From here, if you have any pre-existing sites, which I'll kind of upgrade out here, you'll have access to kind of quickly go to them. But in this video here, we're mostly looking on just how to create a site. So as long as your Office account has permissions to make a site, you should be able to see this little create a site button here. And we're going to go ahead and click on that. From there, I'll move my head on over. You're going to get two options here. You're going to have the ability to create a team site or a communication site. So I'll start with what a communication site is. It's normally a landing page or a site that's dedicated to specifically bringing out communication or sharing documentation. Big thing with SharePoint, again, is that permissions is based off on the site itself. So if you intend to invite people to it, you give people access to the site, they have access to everything, edit, do all that. So that's kind of your big difference why you have different types of sites. So with communication sites, again, normally it's a broader, it's like a hub site, a main site, or a communication site where everyone's going to be able to have different sort of access to specific items inside that site. So with a communication site, there's three types of permissions. There's owner, who can basically edit, delete, add users, or delete the site. Then there's a member who can then edit the site, add to it, delete information inside of it. So they can basically do everything that the owner does, they just can't delete the site. And then there's the visitor, who is able to view everything on the site, but unable to edit or do anything to it itself. On the flip side there, you're going to have the team site. When you do a team site, you get access to the full 365 suite of applications with Microsoft. So when you create a team site, a calendar is made, a mailbox is made, a notebook is made, all those different things that we use for collaboration tools all get created within that team site. And then from there, you're able to add members to that team. You can actually add external users as well to these teams, but you have to do that through Outlook, and then they have access to everything inside that site. So it works really well if you're doing like projects and you need to have other vendors on board with you, share a calendar, that kind of stuff. It works really, really well for that. In this example though, we're going to go ahead and just make a communication site. I'm going to just call this test 2, just because I have another test out there. It's going to ask you to see if that site is available. If not, we'll give you some options. And just remember, whatever you name the site, that's going to be what the end of your URL is going to be for. So like ours is the IMS networking domain, .sharepoint.com/site/ the name of the site you create. You can give a description on there, testing purposes. You would use this just if you want to have better documentation on what each site is for, and then you can select your language. Once you hit finish, it'll go through a little setup here and actually create that site for us, and we're going to get brought to this landing page here. Inside of the site itself, there's going to be the option to browse some templates, which I highly recommend. They're a really good starting point to kind of start customizing it. So if you click Browse Templates, you will get a whole slew of different options on how which site you can create. So these are really nice if you just want to start playing. There's an option there for you. But again, really good just kickoff points. The next video that we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to kind of edit a site, edit a web page, and start adding content to that site. For this example though, on our test site here, we're just going to make it a showcase site. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. You can give you some items on there, letting you know what all that's going to get created and what it's used for. And then if you decide to use that template, simply just go hit Use Template. takes a little bit there. You'll see the progress bar go through, and then once it's complete, your site will then refresh, and you'll see the new template. And voila, now I already have kind of a nice looking site in the beginning. I'll use some stock photos, so I definitely recommend to start editing those and start inputting your own company's information. But thank you so much for tuning in on this one. And like I said, in the next video here, we'll jump in on how to create different web parts and all that good stuff in there, so you can start actually making SharePoint come alive. But thank you so much, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.